Hi guys, my name's Bruce and I'm a White Tiger Qigong instructor. So, old bones and tired joints, that's a kind of metaphor for how many of us feel, certainly as we maybe get into our 50s or 60s. And certainly for me, as I approach my 70th birthday, it's kind of feeling as though just things aren't working for you particularly well. And the danger is, of course, you think, well, this is normal. This is how one feels in these later years of life. Bad news, guys. We want to try to find and rediscover, wherever possible, how we can improve and enhance our movement, our mind, our ability, and our awareness of not only ourselves but others and the world around us. So that's really where I discovered Qigong at the age of 70. I'm 75 now. Previous to that, very little. Like many people, we get involved in families and houses and jobs and careers, and we forget this body and this mind. And I hadn't done much before. Certainly hadn't done any exercise really. You know, I haven't done a half a marathon. Occasional bit of jogging, a bit of cycling. Like most people, you kind of arrive at those later years in not a bad state, but certainly not in a good state. So guys, this is not good news. Nothing's going to improve without a bit of input. So the news is you've got to put some time in if you want to begin to repair, restore and improve your mind, your body, and how you feel about yourself, the world and others. So White Tiger Qigong does have a lot of opportunity and a lot of exercises within its range. There are over 3,000. The great thing about White Tiger Qigong is they've more or less got it down to about 30 or 40, and you can start wherever you like. But the best place to start, I think, is the beginning. And I just want to say three things, and we'll go into a very simple movement to give you an experience of what Qigong can offer you. And there are many exercise routines out there. Qigong is just a little bit special. So guys, three things, what we're trying to do. The first one is movement, inevitably slow or maybe even still. But the movement is thoughtful. You're aware of what's going on. You're aware of the movement. You're becoming aware of your limbs and your body as it moves and opens out and closes. So thoughtful, slow, maybe still movement. So movement is number one. And number two is breath. Breathing in through the nose. And breathing out through the nose, or a small pinhole in the mouth. Slow, regular, deep breathing. And so by doing that, we begin to slow the body down, bring more oxygen into the body. And we become aware of the breath. So our mind is now focusing on movement and breath. It has nothing else to think about apart from those two things. And so there's a lot to do with breath, and at this moment I'm just interested in breathe the way you normally breathe. But I want to tell you, there are several chapters on breathing techniques as we get further into Qigong. Well, and the third is often missed in exercise regimes. It's this thing here. It's the mind. It's the mind that tells you old bones and tired joints. You just better sit down and have a cup of tea and just relax. And the mind also defines quite often just what we think we can do. It begins to, alongside the mind-body connection, it begins to shape our body. It begins to say, oh, this is how we are. So begins to close the body down. And the mind believes, okay, that's the way you want to be. So let's work on it to make sure that we begin to close our body down and get into old bones and tired joints mode. So those three things, calming the mind, breathing and slow movement. I just want to show you a very simple exercise simple process. But I really would invite you to notice the difference between where you start and where you finish. There's nothing particularly complicated in it, although actually it can take a lifetime to learn the full extent of these very simple movements. But anyway, let's just begin. Guys, relax. Nobody's watching. This is your movement. It's about you, what you discover about yourself. I kind of like forget all these other amazing and total respect to my colleagues and students who have retained and maintained that level of flexibility that gives them the sort of beauty and grace that we can see in some of the Qigong videos. Total respect, guys. But look, guys, we need to start where we are. So focus on what you can do, and we can move towards that beautiful example as we get on, as we go through the process. So here we go. I hope you enjoy it. Just a few moments, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so guys, the beginning is just learning how to stand, and let's start with our feet. Wear thin, very thin-soled shoes or bare feet, whatever you fancy. So the mind-body connection. How about feeling the earth underneath your feet? Just spend some time working with your toes, maybe just gripping the floor slightly. Just the suction starts. Feel the earth beneath your feet. Explore that for a while. And now you come up to your ankles. Begin to feel that connection with the floor. Maybe a little bounce. You can feel what's going on. You feel connected, rooted, as though your feet are sinking down into the floor. We come up a bit further. We come to our knees and we flex the knees. So when we're locked, all the weight is on the skeleton and not on the muscles. So we flex the knees a little bit. And so now the thighs and the calf muscles and the ankle and foot muscles are taking the weight of the torso. You can feel that bounce now here. This is how we're supposed to stand. Now you might go a bit deeper, entirely up to you. But we wanted to have a little bit of flex here so I can feel a little bit of tension here. And if you fatigue, you simply come up a bit. Rule number 1 in Qigong, we exercise, we stretch for gain and not pain. Feel pain, come out of it. A little bit of discomfort is worthwhile, but certainly not pain. So now we move to this pelvic girdle area here and the sacrum and the tailbone here. We want to allow the tailbone to sink down. Not with your knees, but sink down. It's not a tuck, it's a sinking feeling. Now guys, I spent 40 years developing an interior pelvic tilt, which means my bum sticks out and I have a curve here. So I have to work pretty hard to allow that tailbone to sink down towards the earth, as though there's somebody pulling down on a silken cord, pulling my tailbone down towards the earth. Takes a long time, but you need to start somewhere. So we straighten this back here, but no tension here. We're relaxing. You're coming up the tailbone to the crown point on your head, and the idea is that the top of the head is pulling up, and that kind of pulls the chin in a bit. Don't get too concerned about this, but certainly you can practice watching TV or just sitting. You can practice by tucking the chin in ever so slightly, so that you can feel the top 2 vertebrae, CV1, CV2, opening out a bit. Breathing in and breathing out. So now our shoulders are soft, they're not tense, they're soft. And there's nothing going on in the arms, they're just dangling there. the tongue in my mouth is touching the top of the roof of my mouth, just behind the teeth. Now I'm breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, or a small pinhole in the mouth. So as I breathe in, I imagine and sense my body expanding, rising, growing, strong. Oxygen coming in, filling my lungs, lower and upper lungs, and expanding. And as they breathe out through the nose, or a pinhole in the mouth, I feel my body retreating, collapsing, sinking down. Like the gentle lapping of water on the beach, climbing up the beach, arising to its maximum, and then sinking down, retreating. So breathing in and breathing out. So it's a whole body experience. So now that you've begun, we'll just do one more, get a feel of this, calm your mind, focus on the breath and the gentle movements that you're beginning to introduce into your body. And now we're going to raise our arms. Movement follows breath. And sinking, elbows lead, as though you're collapsing a spring or pushing a ball underneath some water. You know that just 2 more times. Breathing in. Breathing out, relax, retreating. Feel your weight pushing down through your legs, down into your feet, back down to the earth. Breathing in, expanding, growing, strong, yang, opening. And breathing out. Just 1 more time. Relax your mind. Breathing in. Growing. Feel your chest opening, the mind expanding, taking in the world, the environment. Breathing out, retreating, yin, restoring, reflecting, and together. Okay guys, so look, very brief introduction to the movement, the breath and the mind. It's just the beginning of an amazing journey, a journey where you begin to discover your body, your mind and your connectivity to the world and everything else around it. I look forward to working more with old bones and tired joint students in the future, and it's a really great journey. I hope you would accept the challenge to get moving and to take the first steps towards enlightenment and qigong and a better feeling about your body and the world. I'll see you later.